Unfortunately, Mr. Adme, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Okay, he's been taking pages out of Francisca's book. He's saying I can imagine this is gonna be very interesting. I think he's trying to say you're full of it, Nick. Well, to be fair, that's pretty much 90% of the words that comes out of Phoenix Wright's mouth. But in his defense, he's normally right. So is he actually full of it, or is he actually an idiot savant, or is he actually really good at his job? That hasn't been fully cleared up yet, and the game sure hasn't explained it. But hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. So in the last episode, we figured out that Look At Me might indeed be responsible for the murder at KB Security. So we kind of wandered into his trial and just told the presiding judge what was up. So now we're gonna have to, kind of just prove that he's actually guilty of murder, even though we didn't really have much of a claim on that. In any case. Yeah, let's just get into the trial. That's the only thing. I'm interested to see how this is actually going to play out. Are we going to play out in the actual other courtroom? October 14th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. My sis. I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive. Inside your heart. Nicky boy! Oh, Mr. Light. Again, very weird that they don't call her Mrs. even because she's married. Is it true that the detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. Yet. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? That's the weird part. Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard? Well, I can think of a few good reasons. Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. Yeah, I can't just wander into another guy's trial and accuse him of something without proof. In any case, October 14th, 12:21 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 6. You get the deal. Alright, Godo. Let's face off again. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Look At Me, please take the stand. Well, how do you do, sir, lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when I would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi the name of Master Mask. I'm sorry, I'm afraid even the great Luke Abney has no idea what you mean. Well, let's just spell it out for you. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I can know what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Master Mask? Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. I've noticed that. So you continue to insist that you are in fact Master Mask? Of course! Very well then, Look At Me. Let us begin with a simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge he lacks even the knowledge that he shouldn't be ashamed of himself. That was a very confusing sentence. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks? Alright, Mr. Atme. The night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. Alright. Alright, time to... I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Master Mask was the same time as the murder. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Master Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me. I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Adme, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Okay, he's been taking pages out of Francisca's book. He's saying I can imagine this is gonna be very interesting. I think he's trying to say you're full of it, Nick. Well, to be fair, that's pretty much 90% of the words that comes out of Phoenix Wright's mouth. But in his defense, he's normally right. So is he actually full of it, or is he actually an idiot savant, or is he actually really good at his job? That hasn't been fully cleared up yet, and the game sure hasn't explained it. But the only thing that's full of it is his alibi. All right, time to cross-examine the alibi. All right, stealing. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I'm called Master Mask. But conveniently, that also means that there's no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean?
Objection!
I mean, Phoenix has a point. Are you saying that this is not fact Luke at me? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Master Mask to create an alibi? Oh, what an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? I don't think we have anybody who could have served as an accomplice. No, I don't think we could have. No, we don't have anything yet. If Look At Me wasn't keeping security during the murder, then the Master Mask in this picture has to be a fake. Then there really was an accomplice. But right now, I have no idea who it was. I don't have any idea right now either. Baseless objections are just what this guy wants. There's gotta be another way, and I'm going to find it. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. I believe Agent Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There's no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Adme was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. Photograph contains no words, but in this case one turned out to be my witness. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here. Is that correct? Indeed it is. That it is. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. Say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose.
Objection!
He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that. Indeed, it turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing, a sad blue melody. It looks like I'd better gather more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's gotta be something phony on that photo. Alright, time in which the camera captured Master Mask at the same time as the murder. Press? How about the camera that took this photograph? Oh, come now, it's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. It looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. So, this alibi is false? It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the master mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. Well, in that case... Oh, that's not what I want. Then... Okay, well, there's gotta be something here. Alright, so there's gotta be something here. Alright, that means I could not have killed King Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Oh, this is a thread. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? Yes! There's gotta be something funny about this picture. Let's try. Are you implying that this picture's a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well, then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? Oh. I believe... Well, there's a possibility of several different things. If I'm wrong... I don't know if this is gonna work, but if I'm wrong, I'm screwed. So, I think it's the puddle. I'm gonna go with the puddle.
Take that!
Yeah, the funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Ah, blood! Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. This stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that. From the blood to peaches, the judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. Okay, the problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is, when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out that something should be there that is nowhere to be seen. Okay, well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? This.
Take that!
The supervisor of the treasure exhibit said the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stain. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there.
Objection!
But when I went there the day after the theft, the statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally? Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the gold statue the night of the crime? Ooh. Okay, so we gotta switch to our profiles. Well, it would have to have been Luke at me. He was there since... It would have to have been Luke at me. Because he was the only one in there. He wouldn't have moved it. He wouldn't have moved it. Because the only other person... Adrian wouldn't have moved it because she was using it to cover a paint stain. And nobody else was there. Let's try this. The one who moved that statue is none other than... Look at me! Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue, here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me, you pretend to be Master Mask. To create an alibi by showing you were at Lorelei Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like a cheap film during a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just when in this picture does this lie exist? It would have been 1 p.m., not 1 a.m. Right? Right? I am paying attention. I know I am.
Take that!
Alright. Naturally, the lie is in this photo as the timestamp. But what do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Look at Me went to KB Security and murdered King Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lorelei Taylor at the same time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was the statue placed inside the warehouse door? Okay, well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Look at Me had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim, and so in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ah. So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Abney must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down in a place where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Look at Me had to move the statue on the day of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. God! Alright, we got him. Order, order! Mr. Abney, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by Lordly Taylor's staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Okay, now we've got him on the ropes now. This is going well. Order. Mr. Goto, what is the meaning of this? And Goto is just not caring. He's too chill. Goto, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. My 11th cup. I've promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good till the last drop. However, the defense is a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on the road to infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So, you say this photograph was taken ahead of time? Yeah, the statue was moved in order to make it match? That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied. Which is that it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. But that's very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask? Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions as Master Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Okay. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony. About your plan to steal the Sacred Urn. Okay. Sacred Urn heist. Alright, time to go step by step with this. I first received a request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zavardi. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. Okay. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM on October 12th. Except, there's one very funny thing. It's pretty much all the stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zavari. Alright. Well, very well then, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. I can do that. Alright, time to just push everything and make sure everything is good. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. Press everything! You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed! It seemed that they had heard of my Zavarkling reputation. I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You'd better watch out too, Maya. Alright. The urn was placed in a box in Zavari. It was then sent to the warehouse. Okay, but how though? You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. And she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Huh, interesting new tidbit. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until these days of the crime. So, you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance of that warehouse. However, look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. Alright, I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand, except bullshit, because we know it's not actually valuable at all. You mean this calling card? That's right, that is, without a doubt, my calling card. I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all. Of course, because Atme knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. Alright, I then handled security for myself to ensure the crime would go smoothly. Then, no one entered the basement warehouse. Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. Alas, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much. Hey, Nick, if this photo's a fake, Detective Amy might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. I need to take a good hard look at the court record. Not to go on there, is there? That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Alright then, how do we do that? There's one thing that Amy stated very clearly. That he had never seen the urn before he stole it. We need to prove that he's lying. No, because it would have been on the treasure exhibit poster, right? Yeah, because here's a treasure exhibit. If we present this, it'll catch him in that. No, wait, no. Because he's actually unable to see the urn for himself. No, actually, the urn, though. The urn, though. Because the urn is... No, because this is no longer... Oh, because this no longer has any sort of value to attach to it. Okay, so... Alright. So, sure you've never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, assurance of that. Alright. Well, okay. Let's try presenting this, since this is the only thing I think I can trip him up on. Actually, first things first, I'm gonna save, because I have no idea if this is actually it. Yeah, I knew that. Okay, so that was indeed not it. Okay, so we need more information. Oh! Okay, wait a minute. Hold on, but his card has a description of the urn on it. I didn't notice that, but he calls it the speckled urn. But he had no idea what the urn looks like until after the fact. So I think he's lying here. Objection! Mr. Atmey, if you really are Master Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course! Is there a problem with this calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, that's the speckled here. Surely refers to the pink patterns on the sacred urn. Yes, that's true. But so what? Truth be told, there is no way that Master Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. Oh. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or shall I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Aha, well, which means Detective Atme had seen the urn long before the crime ever took place. That's a very, very good point, Mr. Phoenix Wright. In fact, he saw when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murders no longer holds water. Okay. He's screwed. Alright, so now his alibi is completely broken and down, and there's no way of actually working. Renus, do you have anything to say for yourself? Nah. Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? Yeah, Godo is still being Godo. Ha. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Master Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say the Look at Me was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive? Might you, my merry murderer's motive manifest? Nick, he's getting a second wind. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ronda Light, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ronda Light. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to why the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, sir, old-timer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Okay. Yeah, they're very much trying to pin it on Ron, even though we know he didn't do it. Look at me, had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So, the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. Okay. What? Blackmail letter found in Ron Delight's room, written by Bullard. Blackmail letter updated in the court record. Very well, Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. Okay, so Mr. Bullard actually did write the note. Alright, I look at me and no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Alright, let's keep pressing. And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. Really? Okay, after doing a thorough background check on Detective Atme and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. Perhaps they were connected through their work? They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one who with a motive was Mr. Delight. Alright, Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. Mistook? That's right, mistook. From the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take an error. That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake Master Mask to be? Why, the answer is obvious. Ron Delight, of course. Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. Press harder. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask? Don't you already know that? Zavari, let's take a look at this newspaper. Oh, that's the famous Tear of Ebenon, a magnificent jewel. That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant. The defendants. The victim clearly misread this article and Savari. He's got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Master Mask. I see. That was an unusually reasonable deduction. Alright. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it around the Wright press. You mean this blackmail letter right here? It says, bring 50,000. And the handwriting is, without a doubt, the victim's? There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see any addressee on this letter anywhere. An addressee? This letter was discovered in Ron DeLight's apartment. And Mr. DeLight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. I wonder. What's up, Nick? I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. DeLight? Whoa, do you have any evidence of that? For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? No. However, begrudging against Mr. DeLight for his betrayal. Well, pressing that again is obviously gonna take me down the route again. And it was again Mr. Bullard who's... Okay. What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Zavari! Okay, Cable Security had a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was security team chief, I stole data from the company. Kane Bullard has yet to forgive young Mr. DeLight, which is why he sent them that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. Here's a file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't that a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually Master Mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. Do you really think that story is going to hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have here a memo from Ron DeLight's wife, Treasury DeLight. Uh-oh. Ronnie thinks he's Master Mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. Okay. Well, that definitely makes things a little bit more difficult for me. Ha. Well, Mr. Trite. Was he trying to act like Mr. DeLight just now? I thought he was actually pretty convincing. Oh, I should have heard it in her voice. Or something. That's why Mr. DeLight's outfit to cook. Okay. Now that's your imagination talking. Calm now, sir lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning. Can we hear that careful reasoning for ourselves? It's a long story, and better saved for another time. Very well, another time. Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least, not my experience. So, you're going to try to connect Mr. Detective Atme to Mr. Bullard, right? Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either. In that case, you'll have to talk about that blackmail. That's true. Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron? Since we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony. Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradiction loose that way. Alright. You mean this... Okay. Alright. Let's keep pushing him. Okay. Alright, the gem and the thief. Hmm. Doesn't usually... Okay, let's push this again. And who in the world... You don't want your true identity revealed to the world. You don't take that red diamond you received the other day instead. What are they talking about with this newspaper clipping? Okay, what are we doing with this? Hold on. Let's try option save. I think this is gonna take me down the path, so let's try this. Where is it? Where's my... I lost it. Where is it? Okay, that's not it either. No, wait, hold on. The blackmail letter is something funny. Hold on. No. Well, I know it's something with a blackmail letter. Okay, there it is. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed around the light, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You're one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Okay. And the content of the blackmail letter. Well... let's try. Let's try presenting this. Okay. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. Okay, it is indeed this. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not so much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel is blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that Master Mask stole at all. And your point is, Mr. Wright? So you were trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else. That is what you're trying to say, right, Wright? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. This is who Kane Buller was actually blackmailing. Mr. Atney. Yeah, naturally. It was you, Detective Atney. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen. And received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. Alright, there we go. That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Ah! Okay, we've got it now. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, we're good. We're going this now. Alright. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Wright. If he says so. Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that. No, neither do I. Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real? Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. And answer me. This. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world... Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Academy's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So it was just what was that identity? Admin killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was that identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Academy wanted so desperately to keep secret was the identity as... blackmailer. Luke at me. What's a blackmailer?
Objection!
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one that blackmailing Luke at me. Are you saying that Atney was blackmailing someone else on top of that? You have to admit, that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke at me. But Ron DeLay was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Teal of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans for some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron DeLay was actually Master Mask. That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke at me. Shh, silence. He. Now I see, it's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... Well, that's interesting. You say that I Look at Me was blackmailing Ron DeLight? In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask. Well, yes. Rondelite started receiving plans for his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good points. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Look At Me know that Rondelite was Master Mask? Well? Well, if we're being perfectly honest, we know, the newspaper clipping again, because he was investigating the crime.
Take that!
I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into loads of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Rondelite in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct? With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that is when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Rondelite. What the? Wasn't he supposed to be Master Mask? Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer. What a fraud. Trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. Why, you, how dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I've never even blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? No, he's not. I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why you? I know you could have. Okay, he's starting to ramble. All right, he's crazy. Okay, he's just shouting a bunch of nonsense. All right, but he did just kind of. It's enough to make one laugh. But he did just kind of expose himself, I guess, a little bit. It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme. Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Atme.
Objection!
Oh. But we're not quite ready yet. Alright, he's not ready to give it up just yet. Which means we need a decisive nail in the coffin. The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. No. The judge will be the one to judge. What the hell are you smoking? You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite. Well, what do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Look At Me was a filthy blackmailer. And that he wasn't at Lordly Taylor that night of the murder. That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Box. There's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way. Okay, he's got a point. He's got a very good point. All right, so we got order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Atme was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night. But can you really prove that? That's long enough. Mr. Trite, I want to hear your answer. That night, Look At Me was at KB security and the defense can prove it. He can't... Actually, well, can we? Can we even prove it? Alright. Well, actually, I'm gonna save, because I don't know if I can... Okay, that's what I want. I don't know. Can we prove it? Do we have the evidence that we need to prove this? No? I'm gonna go with both options, but I have no idea. The defense can't prove it, because I don't think we have any evidence that pins him there. At least not that I can tell. There's the fact that the buzzer went off once at 1:02 a.m., but there was no fingerprints on the buzzer. That's just going through my list. Found table on the crime scene. This shows that there's a list of evidence in Kane's list, but I don't think that would be illegal evidence, and we can't reuse that. Directed by blackmail letter. There's nothing here. I don't think that we have a thread that we can pull on. So I'm gonna say no. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But, if we hear more of Detective Amy's testimony... Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite. But what do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony, that's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Look at me is here after we interrupt his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial. And face his guilty verdict as Master Mask. No. Well, Master Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron DeLight will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Alright. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and... By then, it'll be too late. Huh? But why? Double Jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double Jeopardy. Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, the defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. That is the fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Amy will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Master Mask, which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned. No way. The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atmey's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer. Okay. Well, it's still going, so I'm assuming I did the right. Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent. The real killer, look at me, will go free. Oh! We have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there's no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Wait. Hold on. Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke of Atmey. Okay.
Objection!
Oh. I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How did you? Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice. No way. There she is. Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia! This is the true power of the Korean channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me. But right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Okay. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Yes, that's true, but unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Well, now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Detective Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ronda Lights will verify that he's a true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Okay. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever. Very well, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert a right to question them. Okay. Is that alright with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Goto? Nothing. Oh, Sir Lawyer, looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, look at... Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Goto, what are you? Very well then, Mr. Look at Me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear what you declared the defendant to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief. Okay, so that was interesting. Witness testimony. Okay. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Worley Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ronda Light. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. DeLay was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavari! Therefore, all this evidence points at to that poor boy. Well, this testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me, and I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer. Grr. Alright, are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone Look At Me's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a sec, just one chance? It seems that the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. Okay. Cup number 17. The last cup. It seems that the time has come to put an end to his trial. Alright. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony. And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do now is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you've only got one chance. Okay. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination. Alright. Alright, time to cross-examine his last testimony. This is our last bit. We can't present... Good news is we don't have to present any evidence. Okay. Mr. Amy, about this last remark.
Objection!
Uh-oh. You still don't get it, do you, Wright? This isn't the time to be pressing this on every little statement. What? I said this before. There is still one thing you haven't proven. That this gun was indeed Keller Bove's office that night. And now, it's time for me to drink my last cup. Oh. Mr. Wright, I will hold you to your end of your Okay, then! Okay. Well, okay. This is fair. This is fair to me. So that was literally my last chance. Okay. So I literally have one chance to... Okay. That was... Alright, well, back into this I go. Alright, we're saving, so I don't have to do all that bullshit again. I have to leave to see what another vitally important job request. I didn't know about the date beforehand. I know about so I had this photograph ready. The brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. Okay, I need to figure out which one of these is indeed the right statement. Keycard and wallet. But, there's a lot of things here I can press. Okay, so we've literally got one chance. Alright. This one's the only vague one in this testimony, so... Well, I saved it, so if it is indeed the wrong one... Sammy, about this last remark.
Objection!
Okay. Okay. Okay, so... Alright. Hold on a second, I just realized what it is. I have to prove that he was in the office. Continue. Okay, I have to prove that he was in the office. But which means... But if he had to, but he couldn't have been in the office, because here it is. He would have had to have gone in the office in order to analyze the button, which means he was in the office. Okay.
Objection!
Or not? Hold on. Okay. I really don't have any chances of doing this. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Hold on. I'm an idiot. If he hadn't been in the office... Hold on. He wouldn't have known Ron was in his outfit if he wasn't there. So... Mr. Amy, about this last remark.
Objection!
You still don't get it, right? This isn't the time to be pressing with this. Oh, we got it. There it is. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godo. What? Mr. Atme, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let me review your last testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Light was wearing his Master Mask outfit, is that correct? Indeed, that was what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn that fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, never. It was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry, I just never had the chance to bring it up until now. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should have known this are the two who have been watching this trial. Grr. Nah. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There's no way that you should have known about that. Proof? You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Dirk. Well...
Objection.
Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand.
Objection.
No. And those chances that I wanted to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one, and only one way, for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one. One way, you say. Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Yeah. There's the connection. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection.
But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Look At Me.
Objection.
It's with the statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Light saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. Alright. Detective Atme, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Buller and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. What is he doing? Alright. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Alright, what an awfully complicated incident. Kane Buller was blackmailing Look At Me, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Look At Me tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan. He used the Double Jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me! Alright. Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdicts. I know. You never committed any murder. That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but... I really am Master Mask. Huh? So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? Oh, I get it. Double Jeopardy. He is indeed Master... we just proved that he was indeed Master Mask, but, we already got him acquitted yesterday, so... Yeah. He's free to go. He actually did it. What was it you said? Double Jeopardy? Now that you mention it, I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of Double Jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then, Master Mask is really innocent? It would seem so. For now. For now? Well, okay. Now then, this court finds the defendants. So he really is Master Mask. But we proved his innocence in the court of law. And then so we got him acquitted. Then it turned out he was Master Mask. And now he gets to go off scot-free. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, alright. This isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all. October 14th, 3:35 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Korean channeling school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Mia. Ah, Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Delight. Yeah, you got acquitted of 2 different crimes, and you're guilty of the one. So, congratulations? Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all of this has happened. Come on, just be happy already. Maya. You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Master to boot. But, in exchange, I've lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master Mask? I did it all for the one reason, for her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? That would make sense. That would be why she hates them. She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why you became Master Mask? Yes, but it's all over now. The broken bowl can never be put back together. But that's not true, right, Nick? Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were? You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it. I can? I kinda wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there is always a way to put it back together. I don't fully understand either. So... The Sacred Urn? Maybe the Sacred Urn, because it was actually literally taken apart and put it back together? The Sacred Urn? Desi was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. Mr. Light. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you would really Master Mask either. Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act as cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. My Ronnie went and declared him his crimes before he committed them, like a man. Ah, that's why she's not gonna leave him. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. So she's not gonna leave him because he's a phantom thief. And phantom thieves always declare what they're about to steal before they actually steal it. That works out. Okay. Chivalrous. I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi. Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? Yeah, it's not just because he saved her life. It's because he's an actual stand-up guy when he has to be. Nicky boy? Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thanks you so much. I'll never forget what you have done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. Alright. You too, Nicky boy. Well, I can feel my face going red. Mr. Nick, missing by, congratulations! Uh-oh. Talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick, how could you? With another man's wife, in front of Miss Maya. No, you've got to... I'll never forgive you. Never, ever. And we got our ass beat by a little girl. Alright, Nick's never gonna live that down. So just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together, even better than before. Okay. Episode 2, The Still a Turnabout, the end. And that's gonna do it for today's episode. Okay, so that's how that chapter ends. Ooh! Alright, recipe for turnabout. Brand new episode has been added. Alright, achievement unlocked the stolen turnabout. Alright, well I think I'm going to leave this episode here. So, that was an interesting end to that trial. So, Ron... Okay, so long story short, Luke at me tried to murder Kane Bullard because Kane Bullard had figured out that he was blackmailing Ron into stealing things as Master Mask. So, as kind of like comeuppance for that, he killed Kane Bullard and then tried to frame Ron DeLite, and then tried to make himself look like Master Mask as an alibi and use Double Jeopardy to save his own ass. So, yeah, very interesting. Also our client was actually guilty of being a thief the entire time, but he was acquitted for that. So, yeah, long story short, that's gonna do it for today's episode. I'm a little interested to see what this next chapter is gonna be, by the way, because it also features, it's called Recipe for Turnabout, and also features my animate outfit, so I'm a little interested to see what this storyline's actually gonna be. But in any case, I think I'm going to leave this episode here, and we're going to deal with that next time. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter in the description below. Be sure to check out my Patreon if you want to help support me. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks on my way saying thanks. So be sure to check those out in the description below as well. Also be sure to check out my Twitch. I stream every Sunday, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, so be sure to go check those out down in the description below. I also post a bunch of people over there, so be sure to check those out. And finally, if you want to see even more content from me other than that, then be sure to check out the videos linked in the end screen. The top video is the most recent video. It may or may not be this one. Whereas the bottom video is a video recommended to you based on what you've already seen from me. So, if you want to try something new, or see more of what you like, then be sure to check both of those videos out. But, regardless of whether or not you do any or all those things, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!